Hey everyone, it's Adam Walter here from Humanize IT with a final update on the smart assessments. And I want to show you what this actually means. I had a couple people ask me like, "Okay, I get that you're working on these queries and stuff, but there's no context there. How do I actually use this and how does it make my life easier?" Well, let's imagine you're going into a new customer and you want to talk to them about where they are as a company and where they're going. Well, normally you would try to go and you'd run several reports on licensing, on architecture, on where the desktops are. Or you come into our report and you'd run down your checklist. Are they running all on Office 365? You go run an assessment on that. Are their SANs up to date? Are their servers up to date? Are they out in the cloud? All these questions that you have, and you go into your RMM, you go into your PSA, and you spend 6 hours or so gathering this. What we've done for you is we built a better way of doing this. And the first time we tried to build something nicer that made things a little easier for everyone was we built an asset inventory import. So you would sync with your PSA and you'd come over here and you could spend a couple hours, right? Looking at the asset, building some filters here, or maybe going into the persona over here and building a nice little filter that looks at any assets that meet your criteria. Still, it takes a little while to build this. Instead, what we've done is built smart scores for you. These are JQL rules that you can create that you can apply to all your clients instantly. This will show you where you are. So come over here to manage. And we're going to look at what assessments do we run on this client? What do we know about them? So let's look at SAN standardization. We're not going to worry about warranties right now. It's not really that big of a deal. I'm going to go ahead and grab everything that's a standardization gap analysis for this client. These are pre-built rules I have, and if you want to see what they look like, you can always expand them out and see what the actual rule is here at the bottom. Right now, I just want to do a quick little update for you guys. So what we have is I've imported all of the standardization reports so that you can see what's going on. I'll go back to the smart scores. Now, instead of spending all that time running reports, going through, building up budget schedules, finding out which ones are out of date, you create these things once, or you use our pre-built templates for you, and you click Run Assessment. I'm going to run them all 15. And you can see here what we've found is we've got a series of gaps here. We got $4,000 firewall that needs to be replaced. I have 59 PCs. Now, this is a new customer, so they're not running our Dell stack. They're running Lenovo. So we can talk to the customer about that. We can look down here and see there's several servers that are out of date and need to be standardized. Looks like one PBX has to be updated. And we have a switch out there. I can go ahead and click create. And I now have a project schedule that I can run across here and talk to the client about. Now, this $151,000 laptop standardization, not going to be done this year. But what we can do is say, over the next 4 years, we've got a schedule to do this. And when you come into your project roadmap, it's going to be all mapped out for you. So you can say, these are when these assets are being depreciated. This is how we're going to get them back on the schedule and how we're going to move you forward. And then over time, as you're giving them reports, you're seeing how they're scoring across all these entities. Now, I've made them really simple here. So just 50 points each. You can say maybe a PCs were 10, maybe a firewalls were 50, maybe having a standard server is worth 100. You can make your own scores and make them as smart as you want. So when you come back to your actual QBR and you're ready to talk to your client about this, all you have to do is put a widget in and they can see how they're progressing in each area. Why aren't they scoring better in architecture? Or you can break it out, score it out by assessment. Here's how they're doing across every assessment here. And you can show them why they're there and how to get further. This is not a major part of your conversation. This is a simple thing. We're cutting about 5 hours out of your assessment time by allowing you to create queries that make sense for your clients. And you can just run these constantly. Even your engineer can build one at the top level and hand it off to an intern or a junior level engineer and let them run the assessments so that when you come in, you've got a great posture on how are you doing across all your clients, and let that be just a piece of your QBR while you talk about everything else. And then they can see their growth over time and how they measure up against other people. This saves a ton of time. This is a massive amount of reporting you don't have to do anymore, and is going to net you a lot of revenue as your client knows exactly where they are, where their gaps are and when they can address them, which becomes a core part of your conversations so that you can spend more time talking to your customer than you spend gathering data every time. I'm excited to see what you guys all do about these. They're really, really great to build. They're really easy to build. If you want to edit the master templates, you just go down to setup, smart assessments, and then you can build as many as you want. If you want to query, if you're in your config types, you have anything you want to talk about that's not in our architecture assessment up here, build it. You got licenses in your config types, cool, query those. You've got Azure servers in there, cool, query those. We don't care. As long as it's in your config types, as long as it's in your inventory, we'll query it and build you a budget for it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at Humanize IT, and I'm excited to see what you all do with this and see what the feedback you have. This is Adam Walter signing off.